Hello guys, welcome back to the Joystick Duo channel. This is a new thing for us. It's called the Joystick Podcast. Today what we're going to talk about is gaming news, things that are exciting in the gaming community. Also talk about updates of games that we're considerably excited for. Obviously I'm your host Tony, and this is
Dan, that's me. So yeah, we're going to be talking about, as Tone said, about all the exciting things that are happening. There's a lot going on in the gaming world at the moment, I guess. New updates coming out. So yeah, first thing we wanted to talk about really was Borderlands 3.
absolutely obviously our channel, one of our bases of the channel was on Borderlands 2 Let's Play, which we're still running at the moment.
Yes.
So we're pretty damn excited for Borderlands 3.
Yes, we are.
Which is awesome. So there's no official release date for Borderlands 3 yet, which is quite upsetting.
Yeah.
But I think I think they'll be like looking towards maybe Christmas time, maybe full time in 2019.
Yeah.
Which would be it's a long time away, but it does give us obviously a opportunity to finish our Let's Play on Borderlands 2
And run through Borderlands pre-sequel because why not? We love them. So, and by the time we finish, hopefully it'll be time to jump straight into Borderlands 3. So that's ideal. So that's going to work well.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm excited for Borderlands 3 that I've recently researched today is the fact this might not be on Pandora anymore.
Yes, I heard about this. So, Borderlands is a massive universe. Obviously, we will go to Pandora to hunt these vaults. But yeah, apparently there's possibilities that we can be searching other parts of the universe. So one of the most exciting things about that is potentially have different types of monsters. I mean, we fight bandits in all of them. We fight different types of robots that look very similar in all of them. So they might have different companies. Might not just be Hyperion. That's the big bad boys in the moment or anymore.
Yeah, like they're bound to have skags because skags are everywhere.
Skags are everywhere. Yes, yes.
So what I've researched, obviously, the new world might be Promethea.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 100% guaranteed yet. Obviously, no one knows. This is all speculation. But we're excited for. I'm excited for them using Unreal Engine 4. Is it, Dan?
Yes, I believe that is the case. Unreal Engine 4 was what I saw. Whether or not that will change, you know what it's like with these things. It's one thing now, and tomorrow it's something completely different. But it'd be good to see that and see how different it works. So with that, I think one of the biggest updates they were looking to do was to take away a lot of the loading screens. Whether or not it's going to be all of them, we don't know. But most certainly, the plan is to have it a lot more fluid, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They were looking at, I believe they were looking to do that with Borderlands pre-sequel, but was it pre-sequel? Maybe it was 2, but the hardware kind of wasn't there at the time. Obviously, with the new, you got the PS4 Pros, the Xbox One X's. Obviously, high-end gaming PCs can be running at 4K now.
Yeah.
So the chances are you're going to see it's going to look absolutely stunning.
We've got all the new processors, coming out. We've got obviously the new Ryzen processors, all the new Intel processors, some more coming, and better graphics cards since pre-sequel was out. So yeah, it should be good. I'm quite excited for how that's going to look.
Absolutely. One thing I am kind of worried about is loot boxes. They are everywhere and everywhere.
Yes. I'm sure, as everybody's aware now, loot boxes is probably going to be a common theme in everything we hear about and talk about, probably for the foreseeable future. Whether or not they will do loot boxes is a different story. I understand why companies do them. We do. We're not stupid to the idea. We personally don't really like them. But that said, take Rainbow Six Siege as an example. Is that they do loot boxes? Well, I say loot boxes. You can buy stuff on there with real money when it's just cosmetic. That's fine. I don't mind that. But if it's a massive game breaking, sort of situation, then that's a problem.
Absolutely. One thing I do want to touch on is obviously I didn't really play too much of the pre-sequel, but with Borderlands 2, for example, they had the golden keys. And what they did with them, they just on Twitter and stuff like that, they just announced special events where they would every other week they just give away a key, and you got to jump on, get the key, get the code for the key as quickly as you can, and then go in and you may get a legendary gun from it. But that wasn't nothing you were paying for. That was them giving to the community.
Yeah, and obviously that drives massive promotion. They get more people involved. It gets more community spirit, all that sort of stuff. So that's good. That's not a negative thing. And again, we understand why companies do it. It's they make more money that way, obviously. But if they get more interest in the games, then yeah, that's I wouldn't be a bad approach. I'd probably take that. Happy for everybody, I guess.
Absolutely. Now, this is obviously based on speculation, but Dan, the question I wanted to ask you on the podcast today was, character-wise, what do you think they're going to do with the characters as such? Do you reckon there's going to be any from the original games, or do you think it's just going to be a fresh new set of characters, a whole new, basically a new way of looking at Borderlands as a whole?
I personally, I've been thinking about this for, I don't know now, for quite a long time. If they go down the route of a new world, I reckon we'll just have cameo performances like we previously have done. We'll have a whole new storyline, whole new, running in parallel to the universe, but potentially just completely disjointed from it, with potentially with Hyperion and Jack somewhere in the mix as per always. But I don't know. I mean, in terms of the actual characters, I'm seeing as this is going to be a mainline game. I reckon there'll be a new Siren. They seem to do that on the mainline games. Siren in the first one, second one, not in the prequel, but.
As I want to touch on, do you reckon they're going to keep the same sort of class bases? Obviously, in the pre-sequel, I don't think there was a Siren you could play, but
No, there wasn't on the pre-sequel.
There wasn't. Okay, but obviously, do you reckon they're going to touch on that same basis? So you kind of got in Borderlands 1, 2, for example, you kind of got like Axton, and then you got the other mercenary, and then you kind of got
Roland. Roland does his name. I forgot that.
You got Axton, you got Axton, you got Roland, and then you obviously got Mordecai, Zero, which are very, very similar characters.
Yeah, I know. I see what you mean. Potentially, I mean, it's like most games that we play. We're all familiar to. I'm going to be the tank, so like Roland, or the heavy support. I'm going to be Roland. I'm going to be the tank, so I'm going to be Brick, or I'm going to be.
Salvador.
Yes, that's the one.
Salvador.
Salvador. Yeah, Salvador. So, it makes sense for them to go down that route, but I don't know. It depends. It is Borderlands, so things get crazy. They could do whatever they want, and we'd still play it. So, familiar or not, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope they don't. I hope they stay true to the Borderlands fashion. Of being over the top, crazy, out of this world, that's what made Borderlands fun.
Yes, it does. All the mental stuff, like just random killing is just the norm, and that's fine. It's a bit mental. I kind of hope, go back to the characters. I kind of hope Tiny Tina gets a run out, because that would be pretty cool.
Absolutely, that would be maybe an older version of Tiny Tina, maybe her just herself. Probably blows herself to another planet. One thing I do want to say as well, obviously, running on Unreal Engine 4, what I don't want them to do is change the art style too much. So, for example, I can go back and happily play Borderlands 1, and I still think that game looks stunning. That art style doesn't age. That art style looks good. It's a Picasso of the gaming world.
It is. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Borderlands originally wasn't in cel-shaded sort of graphic style. It was in normal, I say normal style game, and they changed it because it looked cooler for what they wanted to do. So I don't think they'll take it away. I think, as I already mentioned, I reckon that engine increase is just going to give us that more power to them to do the loading screens better. No, they'll probably be there. We probably just won't notice them. That's the theory.
That more open world kind of feel to it. So if you look at really big MMORPG. For example, say World of Warcraft, it's massively open world, but when you do travel to the zone, you get that little loading screen if it's a faraway zone. But from one set of the island to, for example, the other, you can actually walk there without a loading screen. Yeah. But when you go for teleportation, or you go to a dungeon, a raid, anything like that, you do get that loading screen. And I'll be happy with that. I'd love to see a Borderlands game when I can actually walk across the map without one. I think that would be so unique. It would be
cool. It will be cool. I wouldn't know how it would work, because if you think when you go on all the other Borderlands games, if you jump from zone to zone, sometimes like the weather's completely different and stuff. They're obviously not next door to each other. Sometimes they travel great distances between zones. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. It's exciting. But as we said, whether or not it's going to have any announcements at any upcoming events, they might do. But it just might be a side note that it's going to be, as we said, late next year, or maybe early 2020.
Absolutely, and you don't know what from here to next year is going to bring in terms of PC power and everything like that. No. I do hope it runs natively in 4K at 60 FPS. It would look absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it would look amazing. Actually, I don't think, if I'm honest, it might end up being a launch game for one of the new consoles. whenever the next PlayStation or the next Xbox becomes around, because that's obviously back some, it's mildly off topic, but there's some news of the new generation's consoles, isn't there, at some point soon? So
Yeah, absolutely.
might come down
Absolutely.
that.
Obviously, we play on PC anyway, so the console side of things don't really affect this too much. One thing I would love to see, if it was possible, would be cross-platform multiplayer on it. That would be insane. Or,
Yeah.
for example, one other thing I would love to see. Not many people would like to see this. I'm kind of neither here or there on it, but for example, Destiny.
Yeah.
Got that open world. You see other people, interact with other people. I think that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. It probably take away massively from the game, but that said, it is a new installment. They could completely mix the formula up. We just don't know. I mean, games change massively, don't they, when they grow? So
Absolutely, it'd be amazing if they could make it an online feature. So if you want to play with your friend local, you don't have to bother dealing with anybody else. But if you don't want to go on the online big part of it, you can do. I think that would be absolutely stunning. It's
to be
more
fair.
of a community drive. Obviously, Borderlands, for example, 2 and the pre-sequel, they're limited. Obviously, only having 4 people in a game together, because obviously limited number of characters. One thing I do want to touch up on just before we end this segment on Borderlands 3 here is custom character. Sorry, custom. I'll get my words out in a second. Custom characterization. That's what I meant to say. So having your own unique character that plays along with the Vault Hunters.
Oh, like a follower sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you
So
mean,
like,
would you control it, or would you just have it like as a pet?
No, absolutely. So for example, you get main characters in games.
Yeah.
For example, off top again, but imagine GTA. So in the main game, you got 3 characters, but you go online, you create your own character. So if they bring that to Borderlands, you can choose your skill tree and how you want to do it, and you do missions with the other Vault Hunters, or if you really want to just be a Vault Hunter.
I see what you mean. Yeah, mate. Well, I don't know how that would look. I mean, maybe personally, I feel like that would almost turn out like how everyone remembers how Mass Effect 3, like when they branched into multiplayer, how that sort of panned out. It might feel like that, like you're just a nobody in a universe where I don't know. I see what you mean, but I feel like one of the biggest for me when I play Borderlands, in some instances it might not be the most exciting game sometimes when you're traveling from place to place, but for me the biggest draw of that game is the characters that you are and that you like interact with. So I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, it's like I said, I'm not the heel there on it, but some sort of character customization. So if you wanted to, you could do that, or you could play the main character. I can't remember what game did that. For example, like Dynasty Warriors did that.
Oh yeah, I love this. Great, what a game! Wow.
Anyway, enough of that topic.
We're on to World of Warcraft. We're going to be talking about the new sort of update coming out at the end of this year. New DLC, the Battle for Azeroth. So some of the new things that are sort of happening. We've got some new races, which I think is one of the, well, I say races, sub-races, one of the new big things that's going to be coming on. Some exciting stuff. Some of things that didn't happen, which we thought might happen. So one of the big things we'll talk about actually is the racial crossovers that there was some speculation about. Tone, do you remember which ones we were talking? Which ones they were going to change from one to the other?
Not specifically, but I know they were looking at obviously getting more. For example, obviously, if you follow a storyline of WoW, pretty much Horde and Alliance become friends, if that makes sense. Because there's always a bigger threat than each other.
Yes, so things like the Burning Crusade and the Lich King and all that sort of stuff. So, which is obviously the main updates.
So the whole point about Azeroth is obviously Sylvanas is now taking control of the Horde again, and she doesn't like the fact that Horde have become so close to the Alliance, hence the Battle for Azeroth name. So what we thought was going to happen, what I personally thought was going to happen, that there was some talk about in the community, was crossover races, because not everyone obviously agrees with Sylvanas. So we thought we might see, an Alliance Tauren, for example. On the flip side of that, you might see a Draenei bad guy, obviously.
Well, whoa! Don't call them bad guys. Everybody's a good guy. Wow.
Absolutely. To clarify little things, if you didn't know, me and Dan have been playing WoW for about I've been playing since Burning Crusade on and off, and Dan's been playing
Since vanilla, on and off, very on and off, I might add.
Absolutely, we can't take like 6-7 months break into the game. We've done that quite a bit. We're actually now back into it, quite majorly back into it. We actually are going to, little spoiler for you guys out there. If you don't want to listen to this, skip 5 seconds ahead. We are going to be doing a WoW Let's Play of 1 to 110, ready for Battle Royale for when that comes out.
Yeah, so just a quick one on that actually. You know, as Tony said, we've been playing since Burning Crusade and Vanilla, respectively, and back then the game was a lot more difficult. If any of you guys remember, especially in Vanilla and Crusade, leveling up to level 20 took a lot of effort, a lot of work, you know, and up until fairly recently, doing that was, you know, you could do that in an afternoon, have a cup of tea, you know, feed the kids, walk the dog, you level up 20. It's, you know, now it's back to being almost impossible again. Well, I say that, but, you know, it takes time, and we were going to do a Road to 110, just dungeon run really for you guys, to see us messing around with dungeons and playing around with other people, try to be friendly and nice, but, you know, we'll see how that works out. But things have changed, haven't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the main things that changed is obviously me and Dan jumped into it again about a week ago. Obviously, we talked about having a 1-to-110, and wow, we both enjoyed it again. So we jumped back into it. We were like, cool, we're pumped. Like, we could do this if we really wanted to in an afternoon. We got into a dungeon and was hit basically with a brick wall. Me and Dan are fully loomed on the game. Heirlooms is a different topic. I'll link down in the description what they actually mean. I'll just put that in the description.
For those who don't know.
For those who don't know. Majority of people do. So I'm fully loomed, I'm tank, Dan's fully loomed, DPS. Normally, the two of us could probably run through a low-level dungeon quite easily. Not anymore. They basically made it so dungeons and Dungeon Finder is no longer a viable way of leveling up. It now takes 4 to 5 times longer than Quest.
Yeah, I mean, I understand when they've done it. Obviously, there's a few different reasons. One of which was, well, probably the biggest one was when new players joined the game, which they obviously, that's one of the biggest things for WoW, especially over the last recent years. The lost chunk of player base, try to get people back, try to get new players in. The biggest thing they found was when you got to level 100 or 110 and jumped into a raid, that the step change from a dungeon run to a raid is huge. I mean, it's huge for us. I mean, we've played on and off for years, and when we go to a raid, it's like so a new player who's got there in you know, a week, 2 weeks, or a month, or even less in some cases. You know, sometimes you see streams all the time. People do it in a day. So, you know, when you get to a raid, I don't know what I'm doing. So you just log off and play again. So the principles is that they wanted all the bosses to do their whole mechanical run, I think was the word. So you see all the moves they do and everything they do, and you don't just stand there and spam buttons. You actually have to plan your attacks and move around as I just standing so like lemons. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, for example, we would run, say, Ragefire Chasms as a level 15, fresh level 15 with full looms. We would run it with a good team in about 4 to 5 minutes. That's not a joke.
Yeah, that's probably
which means
long
by the time a new player is like, okay, I've clicked 4, here's my Frostbolt, the boss is dead. That player learned absolutely nothing about that boss mechanics or how mechanics work in WoW in general.
Yeah.
So what they've now done is made that exponentially longer. Not so much like they've given the bosses more health and made like that. They've done level scaling. For example, if me and Dan were level 25 and we jumped into a level 21 dungeon, like goes from 21 to 25, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, us being at the topper end, we used to just be able to blast through it without an issue. Now, us being at the topper end, if we're in there with level 21s, it kind of scales between the two, making it to the point where even we can't run through it that easily.
Yeah, so essentially the principles is that everybody in the dungeon is at the same level, as opposed to, as Tone's saying, you don't get somebody who's at, you know, the lowest possible level for a dungeon and someone who's the highest possible dungeon, and then you just smash your way through it. You essentially enter the dungeon at the same level. I mean, you don't, but, you know, principally that is kind of the point.
It's kind of like if you imagine, for example, when they brought out Time Walking Dungeons, where so if you had a level 100 character, you could go back and do Lich King dungeons, and you'd get scaled down to being a level 70. That's kind of what it's like. So they've obviously changed that. It's just a little bit more exciting for us. For example, in the Let's Play we're going to do, main reason is because I ran a character from 1 to 100 without doing a single dungeon. I've done that, and I've enjoyed the storyline through, you know, Burning Crusade, Lich King storyline, through pretty much all the storylines. Whereas down the other hand, we've only ever got characters high up on you by smashing dungeons.
Yeah. So we did. We always do dungeon runs. It's sometimes as it is for everybody. Sometimes it's fun. It's more funner. It's more fun to play with other people sometimes, and just do things really quickly, and then you get to high level. But I actually, for my sins, I've never actually done the the full storyline of WoW. And to be honest with you, I've not really done the full storyline of any of it, apart from the starting zones, which I've never read. I actually couldn't. I honestly couldn't really tell you what goes on. So you just smash through it as quick as humanly possible. So the yeah. So the new update obviously makes. So one of the things they've changed now is that questing is the way forward, for better or for worse. I mean, the benefit of that is obviously WoW put a lot of time and effort into their game. They want more people taking most of it. The biggest chunk of the game is the story.
Absolutely. I don't know the whole mechanics and how they've done it, but now when you quest, you never. It's really hard, or you never do really out level the quest zone you're in. I think that comes with scalable dungeons. Also come with scalable quest leveling.
Yes.
Because what I was finding, if I ran a quest in full looms, that quest would end up being green for me. You know what that means? It gives you less XP, so it's too easy for you. And I'd be like, oh, screw this, I will just run to the next area. By the time I got to that area, I would have done 2 quests in there, and I'd be too high for that area.
Yeah, so basically you spend a lot less time travelling.
That's how they worded it.
Yeah, I think it's literally how it was being worded, is that you spend less time travelling. Travelling around WoW, it sometimes can be fun if that's what you want to do, but when you're actually just trying to get on and take in the game, it's quite dull, really. Especially early doors when you drive around in the bloody motorbikes and that revving sound.
Oh yeah, so not everyone gets the motorbikes. If you have enough air,
yes,
that can drive you around. We just massively went off topics. We started this topic with talking about the allied races.
We did.
Like that. So
but it's worth bringing in.
So the ones we got at the moment, I'll list them off now. So for example, we've got the High Mountain Tauren, we've got the Lightforged Draenei, Nightborn, we've got the Void Elves, which are actually all playable now if you do pre-purchase Azeroth. So if you do want to play WoW again, I highly recommend that. We also got the Darkhind Dwarves coming, the Magnaher Orcs. I think
you know what it's like with these things. Sometimes it was impossible to say.
And that's what we've got for now.
I'm not going to lie. Tone, which race are you most looking forward to?
Personally, the Darkhind Dwarves. The main reason for this, they have a racial trait I can read here, which is called Mole Machine. So when outdoors, summon a mole machine that tunnels through the earth. Not sure how that's going to work or what's going to happen with that, but that sounds absolutely amazing. And they've been paladins, which is quite cool.
I wonder if that's around some of the dwarven areas, especially like take some of the dungeons for example, have the mole machines in it, but you can jump from one area to another. I wonder if that allows him to have a easy teleport between these around the world. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it links one to the other.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand completely. Also, it just makes it a lot easier, like kind of like portals, for example.
Yeah.
Made. One thing I am quite disappointed in is I've just read the notes on all the classes here. They haven't really mixed it up at all. So, for example, elves could never be a paladin. They still can't be a paladin. I thought they would kind of make a little mixture of that. I know now they got Void Elf Warlocks. I don't know if you can be a Warlock as a Night Elf. My brain's gone to mush. And for example, the High Mountain Tauren, they've taken away the paladin ability from them.
Yes. I mean, I think I know why, but I might be wrong. So yeah.
So, Daniel, you asked me what I'm looking forward to. Who are you looking forward to, mate?
I kind of like the look of the Void Elves. I think they just, I don't know. I think it's mainly because recently, as we said, jumped back into WoW, and I've started up a Night Elf. Just to see what it's like, because I've never really played one before, so and I'm really enjoying it. So I think a nice new elf might be cool, and their story is kind of cool as well, to be fair.
Absolutely. So in basis, we talked a little bit about WoW news. Obviously, all this stuff about the allied races, it's been out for quite a while. You probably all heard it before, but this is kind of it's not more about telling you what's coming out. It's more about putting our opinion.
Our opinions
and our bias on it.
Hopefully we are giving some people some news and giving some people a different view on it. I mean, I personally have a different view on the new update than I had. I don't know, about 3 or 4 days ago when I found out it was impossible to level up through dungeons. I was a little bit miffed, and now after viewing it in a different light, I'm actually quite pleased in a weird and wonderful way. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're probably going to, we talked about quite a bit, we're probably going to end this segment here, and we'll move straight on to our next segment.
Right, and now moving on to our next segment, slightly different from straight into a game, talking more about a company. So Square Enix, first time back at E3 for, is it 3 years? The third year in a row now? Yeah, so 3 years ago they were last E3 and have not been here since. We know a few games that are in theory coming out at some point soon. Hopefully there's going to be some more updates on them. Primarily for me, one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to them to hopefully give some information about is the new Final Fantasy VII Remake. But what we do know is that they are releasing a new Kingdom Hearts game, which will be coming out. Well, there's no official release date yet, so hopefully either beginning of next year or after. But from a PC perspective, there's a new sort of IP they're going for. They're doing an Avengers project, so that's kind of cool, especially for the Avengers universe at the moment. It's going everywhere. Everyone's loving it. Tony, what do you think?
Absolutely. So before now, actually, right this second, I've not heard of the Avengers project. But I gather from what you said, it's about the Avengers universe. So the Avengers, Captain America, blah blah. If that is a thing, man, am I pumped! Oh my, man, I got goosebumps. Like, I'm a big Marvel nerd. Don't kill me. I have not yet seen Black Panther or Infinity War. I have kids, so I don't have time.
He spends all his time with me doing stuff like this, so I don't have time for anything else.
Absolutely. Obviously, Square Enix makes a handful of really good games, Hitman, Tomb Raiders, and stuff like that. They're also going to maybe talk about, hopefully at E3, their mech-based survival action title. It was announced last year. It's called Left Alive.
Oh yes, I've heard very limited about this.
Absolutely. Obviously, E3 the showcase is going to be on June 11th at 10 AM. Is when I think Square Enix.
Yeah, that's at a specific time, not at GMT or our time at the moment. So yeah.
And that's the online only presentation anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm quite excited. Kingdom Hearts for me, bit of a weird one. Not really. To me, it's a really random style of game.
Yes, but it's their games. I mean, Square is a massive Japanese company. They game a lot of games that Japan and the good ones make it here. Things like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. They eventually make their way over to us. But yeah, absolutely. So that's coming out. Apparently, a new Tomb Raider title, potentially on top of some of the new ones they've already announced. Who knows? We honestly don't know, but Square could be anything. They announce games that start 10 years ago and then release them, like for example Final Fantasy 13 Versus, which turned out to be Final Fantasy 15 almost 8 years later. So yeah, who knows? It could be anything. It could be absolutely anything.
Obviously, there's very limited information on Square Enix returning at the moment. We thought it's a big thing. They have to have something big to be going back to E3 after such a break from E3. When E3 does happen, obviously we will have it'll probably be in our weekly podcast. Anyway, for those who didn't know, this podcast is coming out on Sunday.
Sundays, yes. So it'll be a Sunday rollout from now moving forward. And that's kind of going to be the pattern. We have going to be moving Sunday for this. We're going to have, obviously, our way out videos are going to be on the on the Friday. Borderlands videos on a Monday, and we haven't mentioned this previously, but the WoW videos on a Wednesday. Yeah, that's the one we agreed, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we obviously, me and Dan's got a lot of the works. Straying a little bit off talking about Square Enix a second, but we will be covering, like I said, as soon as E3 drops. Square Enix is one of our main focus. Obviously, Dan's really excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake. Me personally, haven't played it. Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm a massive Final Fantasy nerd.
You read all the hate comments in a minute down below.
yeah, no, of course, but it's one of those things, isn't it? With certain types of games, obviously appeal to certain types of people. But the good thing is, if Square has back on topic slightly with the new Avengers game they're bringing out. Company who can bring us the Tomb Raider games that were amazing and the massive, immense storytelling of the Final Fantasy series, then the Avengers project should be incredible. In theory, it might be another film to game conversion, and it might be terrible, but who knows? We'll see.
Absolutely. So, we're going to end the Square Enix talk here. Again, there's not too much to talk about. It's all speculation at the moment, but we will let you know as soon as we get updated on it. So we're going to leave it here.
Yeah.
Obviously, leading on from our last topic about Square Enix, we are going to talk about a very hyped up game. The massive PR campaign around this game, insane trailers, and if you haven't guessed already, it's Rage 2.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It really does look cool.
Absolutely. One thing to touch on is obviously Rage 1 was its predecessor. I didn't really like the game. Dan, what's your thoughts on it?
I personally didn't feel it was one of the better games out there. At the time, there's a lot of other post-apocalyptic style games around, Borderlands being one of them, and Fallout being the other one. So it didn't grip me as much as those, and I think after playing those I kind of had my fill at the time, so it kind of just got left behind on my side. But I don't mean that in a bad way. I know lots of people love this game and are massive hyped for the new one.
Absolutely, and Rage 1 kind of come out around the era where Borderlands was a very popular game, so not to really bash on Rage too much here, but to me it felt way too much Borderlands-esque. It tried to be something it wasn't.
Just not in the same skin.
Absolutely, I'm hoping Rage 2 takes it in a massive different direction. One thing I do want to hit on here quickly is with Rage 2, the map is going to be a massively open world, which, if it is what they say it's going to be, that's going to be insane. With the Rage kind of the style of gameplay Rage is, or Rage 2 will be, if they do make it a massively open world with very limited loading screens, I may even think Borderlands 3 is going to run for its money down. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you might be right. The landscapes are going to be massively changed if it stays open world, and it goes from, and what's the quote from Bethesda, lush jungle and treacherous swamps to sun-scorched deserts, and full of dangerous factions. So that's going to be quite a beautiful thing to see. I'm really excited to see that. I mean, I've been going through some of the screenshots earlier, and they just look insane. Like, the enemies look amazing, and yeah, I'm well excited for it.
Absolutely. One of the best quotes from the Bethesda there was, if you see it, you can drive it. This includes everything from monster trucks to gyrocopters and much more. And if they stick to, if you see it, you can drive it, they've got their work cut out for them. This game should be amazing.
Yeah, it should be. I am excited. So, in sort of from a story perspective for Rage 2, I don't know if everybody knows this, but it's going to be set sort of post-apocalyptic Earth, where 80% of the population has been wiped out by an asteroid. It's just, it could happen, so it's fair, like this one. So, and you're going to play a guy called Walker. He's going to be the last sort of ranger of the wasteland, and that's it. You're going to just fight for everybody. Everybody's not gone mental, I guess.
Absolutely. Obviously, unfortunately, the release date for this game is not to Q2 of 2019, so we got way away. Again, great news for every single console player out there, as well as PC players like ourselves. It's coming on every single console, so PS4 and Xbox One, and obviously PC. And yeah, it's obviously coming up by Bethesda Softworks. And if the game is anything what the hype makes it to believe, with the trailers, if you haven't seen them, oh my god, just watch the trailer.
Watch the trailers. They've done a really good job. If the trailer sets them up for how the game's going to pan out, then we're all in for a massive treat. I'm really looking forward to it. There is no news on potentially a co-op or multiplayer sort of setup for it. And everybody likes to ask these questions. There is nothing on it yet. We just don't know. If we do know, and when we do know, we will let you guys know, of course, as soon as we do.
Absolutely, and one thing I do want to quickly mention on again, obviously I mentioned that Borderlands 3 might have his work cut out for it here with Rage 2 coming out. By the looks of it, obviously we have no definite release date for Borderlands 3 yet.
We don't technically know it exists.
It's all speculation and everything like that. But I don't want it. If they come out at the same time, that's going to be a head-to-head.
Yeah.
Kind of, post-apocalyptic world. crazy, sort of style gameplay. It's going to be a good time for us avid first person shooters. Kind of, I say first person shooters, but it's like first person shooters kind of RPG stylish.
Yes, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, like you said, I hope they don't come out at the same time because it's just not going to be good, is it? Because I'm not going to play. I'm going to have to play Borderlands, but this does look amazing. I mean,
absolutely, we are Borderlands biased because we have a passion for Borderlands. We're not one of these hardcore gamers that do all the raids and Borderlands and like we casually play Borderlands, but we're very into the storyline. Actually, in the next couple of days, I'm going to be playing for the first time ever the Borderlands Telltale series. Dan recommended it to me, so I am going to be hitting that.
God, you're in for a treat. I'm telling you, you are in for an absolute treat.
If I get Dan's permission, I might even stream it.
That's another thing. Actually, we were going to touch on that in a bit, but.
Absolutely. So pretty much that's obviously everything about Rage 2. It's all on the internet. I will try and link some websites down below with the sources where we found this sort of information from here. And that was our last topic. So our next topic is going to be
it's about ourselves, about us, about Joystick Duo, about what our plan is, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay, and for the final topic of today, we're going to do what every person loves doing and talk about ourselves. Obviously, if you made it this far through the video, if you're new to the channel, we are Joystick Duo. Obviously, we mentioned our names in the beginning. I'm Tony.
I'm Dan. Dan.
We are from the UK, and bit of backstory to ourselves. So we actually never really mentioned this. Is we both work full time. We both have. Well, I have a family. I have kids. Dan's got a wife.
And a rabbit. And a rabbit. Don't forget that.
And a rabbit, Mr. Parsons. And we do this as a hobby. If we could ever turn this into a career, amazing. But we know it takes time and effort. This is why there's so much effort going into our videos. That's why they're so long and everything like that. Obviously, we talked about in one of the earlier segments about we're going to be doing the WoW Let's Play 1 to 110. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. I know a lot of you who watch, let's say, our Borderlands videos won't like the WoW ones. That's fine.
Yeah.
That WoW one is there for people that do want to watch it. Obviously, we're going to be releasing 4 videos a week.
Yes, that's the 4 videos a week. That should be at some point. We're going to start with as of this release, this will be 3 videos a week. So
yes.
And then the WoW one we're following shortly after. I don't know how shortly, but it will be shortly after. But we're just going to give you a lot of content now. As Tony's already mentioned, not everything's going to be for everybody, and that's the way it is. But if you do like something, please like, share, and subscribe. But moving forward, there are some things that we have for everybody. We're going to have our own Discord. So if you do want to drop in and talk, please do so. We won't be on it all the time, as we've already mentioned. We both have full-time jobs and other commitments at this moment, but it'll be a nice community space for everybody. So it'll be in the description below, I believe, Tone.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get on that and create that and put it in the description. Come and join the Joystick fam, as we like to call ourselves. One thing we do want to point out is we are very community-driven. We believe, for example, a good friend of mine helped me, start up and do videos with Dan. So that was my boss at the time, Carl. And we've helped him grow. I've helped him grow on Twitch, and see he's more of a Twitch streamer. But the point is, we're very community driven. So we believe instead of just leaving the little people behind, we're going to bring them with us.
Yes, we're little people. We're little people too. We're always pretty little people, to be fair. But as we mentioned, anybody out there who has a channel similar to ours, or behind or ahead, wherever it may be in its life, and wants to join us for a podcast like this one and have a chat with us regarding their thoughts and opinions on some new stuff we're going to talk about for the following week, just let us know. We want to get involved with everybody. That's the same for anybody who wants to play any games with us. Just let us know.
Absolutely. In that regards to games we play like online, so obviously we play WoW. We will happily, if people actually wanted it, make a character with them and level with them if they wanted it. We're more than happy to boost. I have a couple of hundreds if you want level 110s if you want boosted on our servers that we play on. That's fine. We can do that for you. We're community driven, and it's all about having a laugh. I want to touch on one comment that we got in the last video is what about playing like PUBG or something like that. Dan, do you want to lead off with why?
Yeah. So we're like everybody else. We do dabble in PUBG. We do dabble in Fortnite Vaguely, but we do dabble in these games. But the thing is, you lot wouldn't be here if we had these videos up and playing, because you type in PUBG gameplay and you're swimming in content, and you pick whatever's at the top, which will be one of the big streamers, and you watch that and you enjoy it like the rest of us do. But you wouldn't be here to see this. You wouldn't have got this far. If you did, you fluked your way here, and we're happy that you turned up. But that's the problem. So it'd be more challenging for us.
Actually, with Borderlands 2, obviously, it's a very old game, so there was a lot of that. But what you will find with for example, PUBG and Fortnite, it's very oversaturated, that sort of thing. Like Dan said, we do dabble in them, and if you're that intent and you do want to play it, we will have a game with you. That's
absolutely.
We will have a laugh, but it's just not something we want to record. Me and Dan, we have our video style, we have our editing style, we have our video style in general.
Yeah. So
and we will stick to that. Me and Dan enjoy the co-op side of things, interacting with us, having a conversation whilst playing it, and it's more fun instead of, for example, we're not very good at PUBG or Fortnite, so when we land, we probably will die.
Yeah, well, we've won our fair share of games as everybody, but the thing is, it's not even that interesting to necessarily watch sometimes. It's great to watch bits that are, the core moments in a game, but you spend 20 minutes just looting, which is not that interesting from our perspective, and probably from yours, to be fair. I wanted to mention, actually, regarding another comment that we've had, I think on the same video, in the last video, about streaming.
So, crack on.
Yeah, so with streaming, so obviously our style is co-op. It's me and Tone playing side by side, and that's what we're going to get. Now, we are, from a streaming perspective, at this moment in time, it doesn't work like that. We can't. It can't be done. For at least, if you can, please let me know, because I'll be more than happy to stream everything I can for you guys. Absolutely. But as far as we're concerned, from our research, is that it can't be done at the moment. Now, I understand that OBS is updating itself to be able to run 2 feeds at the same time, and when that happens, yeah, great. We'll be there for you, and you can see us all, and you can watch us do whatever it may be on the day. We'll probably be playing Siege, most likely, on our downtime, and we'll just stream that for you guys. That's what we'll do.
Absolutely. One main thing I wanted to kick on, we are on, I think it's like 560, 70 subs at the moment. My plan is, when we do hit 1k subs, when we've got that community kind of built, when we interact with the community more, we will do a single stream to commemorate the fact we've hit 1k subs. We're obviously excited for that. With that, along with the watch time, it allows monetization, which is amazing for us as creators.
So thank you to everybody who's watched and subscribed. Now, Tone says 570-ish subscribers, because at the moment it's yo-yoing up and down, so we don't really know where we are. To be honest, we haven't got a clue.
We've got a big problem with analytics at the moment. We seem to be hit with quite a lot of views late at night, and YouTube's analytics just doesn't handle that very well.
Yeah, so
which is fine. Another touch face basis. Obviously, we have a do stream a game. It's not going to be a sort of a co-op game until obviously OBS does update, where you can have 2 feeds, because that's how we play. You want to see both of us, but we're more than happy to, if we hit that 1k subs, when we do hit that 1k subs, to do a community stream, have a bit of a laugh, play Siege.
If anyone wants to play along at the time, again, just let us know. Honestly, don't hesitate. Don't be shy. We'll be just as shy as you are. So honestly, just ask, and we'll have a laugh. That's absolutely fine. Just if you can mention in the comments, whatever you wish. It's fine. The Discord, come in there, jump in there. If we're not there at the time, just drop us a line.
Absolutely. That's more about where we want to go. Obviously, we want to get bigger. We want to get better. In time, everything's going to be better. This podcast, not going to lie, probably be a bit rough around the edges.
Yes, kind of
give
like
us a few weeks and it'd be perfect.
Yeah, kind of like our first Borderlands Let's Play video. Obviously, very very blank. It's got progressively better. Hopefully, hope you guys are thinking it's better anyway. If not, please let me know. We do mention this in every video that we've done so far, but honestly, just please, if you have any suggestions for anything at all, be it if you want us to do streaming, we've covered that. We will talk to you. We will get back to you, probably in our podcast, to be fair. But if you have any suggestions for games, again, anywhere, any video, just let us know. We'll pick it up. We'll find it, and if it's a good idea, we'll try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we'll give it a go at least.
Absolutely. And I was going to touch base on something, but I absolutely forgot what I was going to touch base on. Oh my god! You know that happens in the podcast. So guys, we've been recording for I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I had something really cool to talk about, but now I forgot it. Oh, okay. One thing I do want to touch on: we are technically sponsored. By 3 people. We've only ever talked about 2. Well, we only ever talked about 1, but there's 2 in the description. You will notice at the beginning of our videos anymore, Dan's done the custom intro for us.
Yes.
Spoiler. But
Would have seen it by now.
we are still going to be sponsored by Fatal Bits, and we're probably still going to be sponsored by NGW Designs, if I got their name right. But what you'll find with that company we were sponsored by, we want to give discounts to you. That's absolutely great. You can get them with our discount code, which will be in the description. Awesome. If you don't want to, that's fine. But we're kind of fading out from the sponsors. The main reason for this, there was no communication between us and the sponsor.
Yeah.
We were trying to talk through them to get sort of things to help audience to do giveaways, to promote stuff, and there was no response. There was no actual interaction between us and that sponsor when we
we don't want to. We're not bashing anybody. Don't get us wrong. We're not bashing anybody at all, because that's just that's not what we're going to do. But it's just if you notice that, you won't see as much stuff on it. So that's kind of what that's going to look like.
I just wanted to address that, which is fine. Obviously, if you made it this far through the podcast, thank you very much.
Yes.
We appreciate you. We are probably going to end the podcast here now. We've got a fair few topics in this podcast. If there's anything we missed out in this particular podcast that you would love for us to talk about in the next podcast, if you ever want to join us on a podcast, please, our email is on my YouTube channel, or drop a comment down below and get at us. We want to work with you guys and help us grow. And help you grow.
Absolutely. So we're all doing this together. So from a viewer, from a consumer, to anybody out there who's doing their own thing, just let us know. And we'd love to be a part of it all.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, guys. For this has been your Joystick podcast with your host Tony
and Dan from Joystick Duo. If you haven't realised that by now,
you're in the wrong place. Much love to your faces. Like, rate, subscribe as always. As I always say in every video, Dan gets the little giggle.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We are on Twitter. We'd love for you guys just to be on there, and the more we have on there, the more we can sort of engage with you guys. That actually brings me on to a very quick point, is that we will be opening up the community with things like Facebook as well at some point. That's going to be down the line, but yeah, just hold your horses on that one. We will be there. All right.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the most direct way to be able to get us. Drop us a DM, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks again,
guys,
for making it this far, and see you in the next video. Peace out.